Good afternoon. This is News Track coming to you live from our Rayfield studio. My name is Karen Mungukas. On the news this afternoon, as the world marks World Immunization Week 2026, fresh concerns have been raised over Nigeria's growing number of unimmunized children, calling for urgent and coordinated action to close the gap under the theme "For Every Generation, Vaccines Work." Save the Children Nigeria has called for renewed commitment and coordinated action to reach zero-dose and under-immunized children across Nigeria, particularly in underserved urban and peri-urban communities in Lagos and Kano states. Nigeria remains one of the countries with the highest burden of children immunization services, and Nigeria currently ranks among countries with the highest burden of children missed by routine immunization. An estimated 2.1 million children have never received a single vaccine, while another 2.3 million are only partially immunized, reflecting both systematic gaps and persistent barriers to access. Combined, these figures place Nigeria as the country with the second highest number of zero-dose children globally. In a statement, Save the Children urges the government, partners, communities and stakeholders to strengthen routine immunization systems to reach zero-dose and under-immunized children, especially in underserved settlements, to strengthen routine immunization services, improve outreach in hard-to-reach communities, and ensure that no child is left behind. Save the Children charged the government to invest in quality data use, defaulter tracking, and multiple contact points for vaccination within the health system. It also called for the support of skilled health workers to provide respectful, high-quality immunization services, address misinformation and harmful social norms through trusted community leaders, inclusive engagement approaches, and increased domestic partner financing for immunization and primary health care to ensure sustainable coverage for all. Experts stress that closing the immunization gap is not only vital for protecting children, but also critical to achieving equitable health outcomes nationwide. According to the statement, immunization remains one of the most cost-effective public health interventions, saving millions of lives globally each year. But in Nigeria, many children continue to miss routine vaccinations due to limited access to services, weak follow-up and data systems, misinformation, harmful social and gender norms, and gaps in community engagement. The Plateau State Commissioner for Transport, Jatau Gyang, has received the report of the committee set up to investigate alleged excesses of the Vehicle Inspection Office, VIO, reaffirming government's commitment to accountability and discipline in public service. The ceremony was held at the Conference Hall, Ministry of Transport, Joseph Gomok Secretariat in Jos. Speaking during the presentation of the report, the Commissioner of Transport, Gyang Jato, noted that the responsibility entrusted to them was both sensitive and critical, and commended them for discharging it with commitment. He stressed that the present administration is firmly guided by the principles of accountability, transparency, and respect for the rule of law. According to him, concerns raised by citizens regarding the conduct of some VIO personnel necessitated immediate government action, which led to the constitution of the investigative committee.
Today, as we receive this report, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that every agency under the Ministry of Transport operates within its legal mandate and in service to the people. The recommendations contained herein will be carefully reviewed and implemented where necessary to correct identified lapses.
The Commissioner said the objective of government has also been clear: to uncover the truth, address any wrongdoing, and strengthen institutional performance. He reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring that every agency under the Ministry of Transport operates within its legal mandate and in service to the people. While decorating the newly assigned Director of Vehicle Inspection Office in Plateau State, Jonathan Zam, the Commissioner charged him to lead with integrity, uphold discipline, training among officers.
Prevent recurrence and restore public confidence. Let me assure the good people of Plateau State that this government will not tolerate abuse of authority in any form. At the same time, we remain committed to supporting our officers to perform their duties effectively within the confines of the law.
The chairman of the committee set up to investigate on excesses of vehicle inspection officer Istifanos Dimang appreciated the Ministry of Transport for finding them worthy to contribute their quota towards the progress of the state government.
In the course of its assignment, the committee adopted a comprehensive methodology, including receipt of written and telephone complaints, stakeholder engagements, interviews with their officials and ministry's personnel, as well as interactions with motorists across major locations.
Goodwill messages came from the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport, Jumai Shekarau. Meanwhile, stakeholders have been called upon to strengthen collaboration in promoting peaceful coexistence across Plateau State. This was the focus of a closed-out workshop by the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. Our correspondent, Joshua Gar, has details of the report, as continued from our studio.
The event brought together key actors to conclude a peace-building initiative designed to establish sustainable peace structures. It also served as a platform to present the project's outcome and rally support for implementing its recommendations with assurance from both the organizers and the Plateau Peace-Building Agency of their commitment to sustaining the progress made so far. Country Manager, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Chris Agoha, said HD is committed to the pursuit of vision of conflict prevention, mitigation and resolution nationally and internationally.
Government has deployed immense human and material resources to ensure that Plateau returns to its preeminent position as the epicenter of peace nationally.
The Director General, Plateau State Peacebuilding Agency, Julie Sander, who was represented by the team leader, Coordination and Partnership, Hope Chuang, explained that participants highlighted the need to build on achievements through inclusive dialogue and active community participation, noting that lessons from the project would guide future peace efforts and help tackle underlying causes of conflict.
They are in strategic positions and they are also vulnerable in terms of information sharing, and their relevance can't be outlined.
The workshop also recognized contributors to the project's success and included the handover of its outcome to relevant authorities, reinforcing the collective responsibility to maintain lasting peace in the state through presentation of zonal reports by the Director General, Research and Documentation, Government House, Sam Godons. There were goodwill messages from the former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochekbe, Chairperson of the Gender Commission, Olivia Daziem, and the representative of the Commissioner, Ministry for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Johanna Majau, as well as the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, Sunday Dabin, all commended the HD for constant dialogue with different communities across the state and beyond.
ECWA President Job Bagat has presented resolutions of the 73rd General Church Council held at the International Conference Center, ECWA headquarters in Jos. The church outlined several issues on insecurity, road infrastructure, government performance, and public participation. Our correspondent completes the report.
The 73rd General Church Council meeting of the Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA, in ECWA constituencies in Nigeria and diaspora. Delivering a communique after the meeting, ECWA President Dr. Job Malam revealed that the election was conducted on the 21st of this month and Reverend Chidi Madubuko emerged as the new ECWA Vice President, while Reverend Dr. Ezekiel Omidiji elected trustee representing Zone 9.
The Council deliberated on critical matters of spiritual growth, governance, mission, and national concern affecting both the church and the wider society. These deliberations were guided by biblical principles, denominational values, and a collective desire to discern God's direction for ECWA at this pivotal time.
In a bid to strengthen the church's media presence and expand its capacity, Malam added that the ECWA television has been renamed Bingham Television. The ECWA president stated that the council has approved the creation of new DCCs, bringing the total number of ECWA DCCs to 100. He further expressed concern over the persistent insecurity across the country, calling on governments at all levels to intensify effort in safeguarding citizens. The ECWA president advised citizens to register for the forthcoming general election in 2027 and encouraged members who are gifted in politics to fully get involved. Malam appreciated the federal government for appointing some of its members into political positions, advising them to serve with accountability, diligence, and commitment to national development. In Jos, Rifkatu Yakubu.
Now, parents have been urged to train their wards in the ways of God, as children remain a divine gift that must be nurtured with discipline and prayer. Pastor Joseph Mwantiyi gave the charge during the child dedication of Jugu Dauda, a brother to the Chief of Staff to the Chairman of Riom Local Government, held at Kokin Church, Kum, Riom. Details of the report is continued from our studio. Dedicating the child to God, Pastor Joseph Mwantiyi stated that parents have a shared responsibility to equip their children spiritually so they can grow to become good ambassadors of Christ in society. The child, brother to Dongo Dauda, former Chief of Staff to the Chairman of Riom Local Government Council, was named Mokweng. Preaching from the book of 2 Samuel on the topic, "Do not misuse the grace of God," Pastor Mwantiyi reminded the congregation that God loves children dearly and expects parents to bring them up with discipline, prayer, and sound teaching from the Word of God. Speaking on behalf of the parents, Dongo Dauda, former Chief of Staff to the Chairman of Riom Local Government Council, expressed gratitude to God for blessing the family with the child. He thanked the church for the prayers and spiritual covering over the family. Dongo Dauda used the occasion to formally present himself before God and the church as he seeks divine direction in his bid to contest for the Riom State Constituency seat in the 2027 general elections.
Clearly, in particular, distinguished Senator Simon Matcon, former Senate Minority Leader, Right Honorable Timothy Danton, they have mentored me so much well that I have now developed interest in the business of legislation, and that is my propelling force because I want to be like them. Riom as a constituency is being bedeviled with land grabbing, so to say. And I thank God, as I mentioned earlier, Right Honorable Timothy Danton has made a law, a motion of urgent public importance concerning land grabbing. And those are some of the issues that we want to continue on them so that we see to the security, the safety of our people in our communities.
Also speaking, the deputy leader of the Riom Legislative Arm, Frederick Damajay, appreciated the church for its consistent role in praying for leaders at all levels of government. The service climaxed with special offerings offered for little Mokweng, for God's protection and wisdom upon his life, and for Dongo Dauda as he pursues his political ambition ahead of 2027. On the foreign scene, a fresh xenophobic violence in South Africa has claimed the lives of 2 Nigerians, triggering fear and panic within the diaspora community and prompting urgent diplomatic engagement by the federal government. The development comes as Nigerians living in South Africa demanded protection by the federal government, saying that protecting Nigerians abroad is both a constitutional and moral obligation of the government. The Nigerian Consulate General in Johannesburg confirmed that Amaramiro Emmanuel and Epiong Andrew were killed in separate incidents linked to rising anti-foreigner tensions. The Consul General Ninikanwa Oke Uche disclosed in a statement on Monday that Emmanuel died from injuries allegedly sustained after being beaten by personnel of the South African National Defence Force on April 20. Andrew, she said, was apprehended on April 19 in the Boysons area of Pretoria following an alleged altercation with members of the Swanee Metro Police, and his body was later discovered at the Pretoria Central Mortuary. The Consulate General said the separate cases involving security personnel have left the victims' families, the Nigerian community, and diplomatic missions in shock. A formal case has since been opened with the South African Police Service, while the Nigerian mission has urged the Independent Police Investigative Directorate to ensure a thorough, transparent, and impartial investigation. The Consul General added that the consulate was engaging relevant authorities and would provide necessary support to the families of the deceased, while warning against the growing trend of profiling Nigerians as criminals. Okeuche also urged Nigerians in South Africa to remain calm and law-abiding as investigations continue. The killings come amid escalating xenophobic hostility, with multiple viral videos showing threats, intimidation, and attempts by mobs to target foreign nationals. In another development, Japan Airlines JAL will start using humanoid robots in ground handling tasks at Tokyo's Haneda Airport from May, in a 2-year trial it said is aimed at easing employees' workload. For a start, the Chinese-made robots will be deployed to load and unload cargo containers. JAL and GMO AI and Robotics, its partner in the project, said in a demonstration to the media on Monday. Japan's aviation industry is wrestling with a labor crunch brought on by an increase in inbound tourism and a declining working-age population, said JAL, which employs some 4,000 ground handling staff. The carrier hopes that these robots can also be used to clean cabins and operate ground support equipment in future. Robots are already being used in some airports across Japan, including for security patrol and retail. Japan welcomed more than 7 million foreign visitors in the first 2 months of this year, according to statistics from JTB Group, which runs Japan's largest travel agency. While airports appear highly automated and standardized, their back-end operations will rely heavily on human labor and face serious labor shortages, GMO AI and Robotics President Tomohiro Uchida told reporters. Using robots for physically demanding tasks will provide significant benefits to employees, Kyodo News Agency quoted Yoshiteru Suzuki, the president of JAL's ground service, saying. And that's it on News Track. Please stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. and news update at 10 p.m. Thanks for watching.